The very first WrestleMania pay-per-view I ever got was probably WrestleMania 9. Um, During the duration of the time, I was pretty much a wrestling fan throughout 1984, and then since then started seeing a bunch of different things, and I started seeing several different WrestleManias that came out from 3 to 4 all the way down to the first one, which was WrestleMania 9. Well, not the first one, but you know what I mean. But WrestleMania 9 was my very first pay-per-view that I've ever ordered. Everybody, some people can, say, oh, well, I ordered WrestleMania 4, I ordered WrestleMania 5, 6, and all the other stuff. WrestleMania 9 was a very, very important piece of history for me because at that time, I was, as a kid, I was over in, I believe I was in South Park Middle School. This was 1993, so I was already on the verge of leaving high school or leaving middle school to go over to Moody High School at that time. And I invited a lot of my friends over to check out WrestleMania 9. And this WrestleMania featured Yokozuna versus Bret Hart for the WWE Championship. There were other matches like Tatanka versus Shawn Michaels. Hulk Hogan was teamed up with Brutus the Barber Beefcake to take on Money Incorporated for the tag team titles. The thing I remember the most about, well, the point of the pay-per-view, as a kid, I had a lot, we're trying to get everybody to come over to your house, and I was telling everybody, just bring in $5 or bring in like this amount of money, right, to come in. I like as an invite or some sort of a rave, right? And they would bring in the money, and all I would do is I would get all the money and get it all set. Whoever was here, we would go ahead and order something from Little Caesars at that time, because Little Caesars was the pizza that everybody liked, and I was, always, sending my dad out or sending my mom out to go get the pizzas or have it delivered over here or something like that. We would be watching WrestleMania. We would get all sorts of pizzas and Cokes and Crazy Bread and all that stuff, and we'd watch it, and it was always a cool thing. And I loved having, it was like my very first WrestleMania pay-per-view, and I wanted to go all out for that, and I did just that. So I go ahead and set the pizzas up. Everyone is getting ready. They're all getting the slides. They're all getting ready. And the one match I remember that I think everyone was looking forward to the most was Yokozuna versus Bret Hart. And of course, we saw what happened. Bret Hart had Yokozuna in the sharpshooter. Mr. Fuji would throw the salt in his face. And then, referee didn't see it. And then after that, Yokozuna pinned Bret Hart, and that was it. And we were all in shock. We couldn't believe that Bret Hart lost to Yokozuna the way it happened. And then, of course, all of a sudden, Hulk Hogan appears over there. And it was like, in my head, something clicked in the back of my head was telling me, uh-oh, I see something coming. Like you knew something was going to happen before it happened. And then sure enough, here comes Yokozuna. There's Fuji on the microphone saying, "My Yokozuna, it's your challenge," and all this other stuff, right? Bret Hart was salt in the face and all, and Hogan he had to make a decision to come either in the ring or just leave with Bret Hart. And then sure enough, Hogan made the decision by going in. Then of course, it happened what it happened. Yokozuna's reign as champion lasted for, my guess was probably about 2 to 3 minutes. That's the way I remember it. And Hogan got the leg drop. And it was an unprecedented first in WrestleMania history because the WWE Championship was decided not once, but twice. Bret Hart would lose the championship to Yokozuna, and then Yokozuna would defend the title that same night against Hulk Hogan. At first, as a kid, I was happy. I was happy that Hogan became champion for the 5th time. But also, at the same time, as I got older, I realized, something? Hogan should have never won that match. And sure enough, a few months later, King of the Ring comes along in 1993. Hogan lost the championship to Yokozuna in controversial fashion, I might add. Some people remember that, but that was a different story. But nonetheless, WrestleMania 9 was my very first pay-per-view. WrestleMania 9 was where I would start having people come over to check out WrestleMania ever since then. And, you know, I've done it almost every year. Have people come over to check out WrestleMania because it was always a bigger event than any other event out there in wrestling. And all I know is WrestleMania 30 coming up will be no exception. I'm going to have the barbecue going. I'm going to have the beer going. I'm going to have the sodas. I'm going to have everybody come up. WrestleMania will always be the event among events. And it's always cool that every time I have WrestleMania at my house, everybody wants to come over. Everybody wants to eat. Everybody wants to check out the fights. Everybody wants to everyone wants a good time. WrestleMania, when WrestleMania comes along, it's my Super Bowl. That's the way I see it. That's the way every other fan sees it. And WrestleMania 30, April 6th, I can't wait. It's going to be like nothing anyone's ever seen before. I guarantee you that.